thinking through it. So I'm going to do live streams. We're going to keep the live going. And this episode is sponsored by Happy Dad. So we're sitting by the fire on spring break. We have the fire marshal coming. There's the fire marshal over there. So for those of you who are not watching my live, because I wouldn't expect you to since I've never gone live before on YouTube, and if I have, it was very random. We've caught 2 fish today.
Yeah. Yeah.
We caught 2 fish today, and the kids have been riding the 4-wheelers. We're sitting in front of the warm fire. I have been doing a little AI recon. So I'd say I've been on AI all morning. I flipped over to doing some research, trying to lay out my casita using AI. So trying to do furniture design and layout. So that's what I've been doing. What you been doing today?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Did you catch a fish?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
That'll be 3 total fishes. Who let Duke out?
I don't know. Court.
Duke! Duke! Cash, put Duke back inside. Put Duke back inside.
Ask Mom if he can let Duke out.
Well, he needs to come this direction. I said he needs to come this direction. You want to go film Covey?
No.
No? Covey!
On ride.
Come here real quick. Real quick, while you gotta wait for the gas, real quick. Real quick! I got something to show you. Let's see how compelling I can be. You want an arrowhead? Come here. An arrowhead means airhead in children's speak. She wants an airhead candy. So so that blue Motors 4-wheeler over there was his when he was her age. And then it was Cruz, then it was Court. You ain't got shoes on? No, Court. Come here, mama. Come here real quick. It's windy, a cold front's coming in. Come here, baby. Real quick. Come here. I gotta ask you a question. What's your favorite? Okay, I can't get you your favorite flavor if I don't know. Come here. What's your favorite flavor?
Flavor of what?
Airhead?
Oh.
Cherry? And how many do you want? Just one? You want 2? Blueberry and cherry? But where do you want them? You're gonna hold it, then eat it? Yeah. You're gonna eat them both today? Yeah. Well, should I get more than one so you can have one tomorrow? Yeah, maybe. Huh? Maybe the cherry one today. You eat the cherry one first today? Yeah. And then what are you about to do right now? Drive your motorcycle? Where are you gonna drive it? On the motorcycle track? All right. You need any help? Are you gonna be careful?
Like, it's actually
All right.
pretty good.
All right. You can go get on it. Mommy's coming back.
And that other one, Court, it's covered in mud.
Which?
The other hatchet.
Oh.
It'll still work. You can get it. It's on that tree.
I'm just telling you.
What you working on, Cash?
Breaking it down.
Breaking it down? Can you just snap that off with your hand?
Yeah, but it's funner this way.
Well, why are you swinging that hatchet towards me? Big Dookie Duke. Dookie Duke. He's getting the little boy out. The little one. You know this guy coming up? That's a little, I think a little 50. Oh, he bought on Facebook Marketplace a long time ago. We did order a little bit.
And the rain too, I guess.
Man, it's getting hot, Cassie. So we've been checking out that macro hard, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Double down, 10x. If you're not getting any Tesla stock, so let me tell you all a little story. So on Monday, I'm supposed to fly to Puerto Rico to meet with the guy. Did I tell you I was supposed to go to Puerto Rico on Monday? So Chris Lazo, the first employee at SpaceX, you know where the what was the name of that swimming pool that was over the you know that place where that little building where they do the group meeting? They're doing a meeting there with the first employee one of SpaceX, which was
the ones that are up here in the
something space. We invested in it. But anyway, they're doing another big deal with SpaceX. So they're doing a deal there in Dorado. So if I was gonna go, which it's also the member guest tournament. So he said I could stay with him. But I'd probably have to fly out on Sunday.
For him, if one set
But anyway,
aren't here, another set might come up.
We all know about the XAI SpaceX merger, right?
If I didn't really need to check that.
Well, I don't want to go into too much detail, but
somebody and say, hey, can y'all just check
back, I don't know, maybe in 2021, I know the valuation was like 150, 180 billion valuation. It's supposed to go IPO in June. They're supposed to go on Elon's birthday. There's a lot of little like hidden things in it, but on Elon's birthday in June, there's an alignment of some planets. Well, let's go back. X, which was formerly Twitter, was acquired by XAI, which was then merged, whatever the accurate way to put that, with SpaceX. So I got into XAI in the first round, $20 billion valuation. Got in again. Got into SpaceX a few different times. But that's not what I'm excited about. I'm excited about Tesla. Guys, go to YouTube, type in Macro Hard. It's a play on Microsoft. It's called Macro Hard. So these new, if you're a Tesla owner, there's a lot of different things. I know everybody thinks they know, but just for once, think you don't know. Go look at what's going to happen. So if you go back to like when Bill Gates supposedly took the idea and stole. So a lot of times, like companies will come up with stuff and they won't know how to use them, or they won't know how to use it in order to, optimize it when it's early on. So that's an example of Mark Cuban doing Broadcom and selling it to Yahoo for $4 billion, right? Some guy had a bunch of servers. Cuban had the idea of being able to stream, sports at your desk while you were working. The guy who had all the tools and all the equipment to do it leased him the equipment instead of being one of the only guys on the planet with the equipment and using the equipment to capture the value. So business model, he had the wrong business model. Business model, by definition, is how you capture the value you create, right? So Cuban saw, it's like the refrigerator versus Coca-Cola. I heard a saying about that, but I'm going to quit going into those little side rants. The point is, Tesla Macro Hard there's going to be a digital grok. And what this means is with the UI, the user interface, computers, in order for computers to get mass, what's the word I'm looking for? Adoption. We had to get to where Steve Jobs made it where he said he wanted to make the screen and the buttons so easy that you'd want to lick them, right? That's what he said. And so he, designed what we now, he wanted no, well, on the first iPhone, iPad, whatever, there was, I think there was, you had BlackBerry, the competitor that had all the keyboards. He wanted it to be a flat screen, something you could give to a kid and they could just figure it out. Very intuitive. Um, which Intuit is one of the best product developers, right? Because they have the POV method, the point of view method. They watch the customer, see how they interact with the product, and make sure that like the whoever's, when they're building the product, that they understand why you pressed here, why you pressed there, why you did that, why you did this. Well, with AI, it's not really intuitive for a lot of people, but it's gonna be. When it is, ideas and technical implementation gaps are going to be just not there. If you have an idea, you could have a badass idea 15 years ago, but you're not a computer engineer. In the future, you're going to be able to make those ideas come to life. Well, one of the things that realizing is that adopt AI into their business is, like how do you train the AI to do what you want it to do? This macro hard is going to just monitor your computer and see everything you do and tell you what it's going to take over. That means like, let's say you just do something and you don't even realize you're doing it all the time. You're checking your calendar, you're doing this, you're doing that. Instead of having to be like, a creative thinker and go out there and say, oh, well, let me use AI to do this with my calendar and let me use it to do this with, I do this every season for my son's football or basketball or all that. Like, it's just going to start to see pattern recognition and sequencing, and it's going to make suggestions and start to automate the things in your life that you, you're not even thinking about. There's people out there that are thinking about them because what they do is they learn the tool and they're like, oh, well, let me try it for this or for that. But imagine if something was just monitoring everything you were doing and then it was making the suggestions and just saying, hey, would you like me to take a stab at this for the next 30 days? Next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, it took a stab. Oh, there's Grammy. And so that's Grammy and Covey. Where you going, Covey?
I don't know why.
Go look at the valuation. So there's that. A couple other big announcements with, you have the Tesla. So Tesla had to invest in AI. We're seeing a merger there in the future after they go public. If you look at, look at what the gross domestic, go look up what was the gross domestic product before the railroads. And what is the gross domestic product now for the whole world? And what do they think the GDP is going to be as a result of AI? That's a huge, that, that's pretty, I mean, if you look at what they're saying, the valuation, Optimus, Robotaxi, all this money that's out there for these data centers and what they're going to do with these data centers in space.
Chainsaw.
I'm going
You
on
know
the
where it
record.
is?
First
Go
live
get
I
it.
ever remember putting it down. Tesla. I think the old saying was Tesla will never be remembered for making a car in the future. What does that mean? Well, did you know Apple used to make printers? Before Steve Jobs left and came back, they had 16 SKUs. He came back. When he came back, we know the iPhone. We know iTunes. I was just backing up a little bit because I'm good shit. So anyway, I've been doing deep dives in on that for those that are while sitting by the fire on spring break, watching the kids ride around on their.
Like the little blue one.
Yeah. I think those other ones are a little too powerful. Makes them nervous.
Is Court jumping with the big one? Where are you going?
Because we're firewood.
pretty active over here. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? So we did have a little cold front that blew in. Little cold front. Like literally, we were out here till about 11, and then we looked on the radar. A little bit of rain blew in for about 20 minutes, and then stopped. And it looked like it was going to end, but the backside blew in for 20 more minutes, and then after that, it went away. But after it left, how much colder do you think it is now before the rain?
Well, I had a t-shirt on. It was probably high 70s, and now it feels cold. Right now it's
Probably dropped at least 20, 30 degrees.
20%. It's 54 degrees right now.
54. Feels cold. Real windy. That's what a wind chill.
It's very windy.
Yeah, why? You want me to video you jumping? Okay. So yeah, so the next thing is with the Tesla cars, you're gonna make money with your Tesla. I wish I could put it in the link, but a lot of this stuff is coming to fruition and being confirmed. Some of the stuff, so the Tesla thing and the superchargers, there's a lot of opportunities. There's business model. Go out there and look at business models of what the income stream. They say people are gonna have robo-taxi fleets that are gonna be making. I watched one. It was like how to make 200,000 a month with the robo-taxi fleet. Anytime you get in the opportunity business, it's a good business. So in the business to create an opportunity for other entrepreneurs that want to go out there, you know, I remember the guy in my neighborhood that owned one of the first subways, right? Subways ended up becoming one of the biggest franchises. I remember watching Tesla say, own your own supercharging station. And now, right now, what they're saying with these supercharging stations is they're going to be part of the AI grid. I don't know exactly how. I didn't dig into it. It made a little bit of sense conceptually, because if you look at what's in these Teslas, they were talking about how these, these Optimus things are going to need to charge. So think about the people who own the rights to the Coca-Cola bottling plant. They became some of the richest people in the world because they became kind of the support distribution network for one of the biggest brands in the world, and people bought into those. In fact, one of the top richest three people in Texas, if it's not that their family had the bottling rights. Went back years and years, and the grandpa had negotiated, or the great grandpa was watching it on the in the sauna a few weeks ago. Top 10 wealthiest families in Texas. Elon was number one now. But anyway, man, all I'm saying is if you're not out there doing your little research, getting your little interpretation of what the future is, lot of great opportunity. There's more opportunity out there. You just got to get your own opinion of what's the direction. What's the direction that they're going with these? They already reduced. So like when Woods came to town, my business partner, he hit my Cybertruck and he said that he was at 84% full self-driving, and I was at 48%. So now it's a game to me. I'm like, oh shoot, I need to get mine up. But if you're at a certain percentage, your insurance drops by half. So you got your insurance dropping by half. You got your ability to put your Tesla into the network. And if you don't like to put your Tesla in the network, you can just park it in the garage, and it can become part of the decentralized center for running macro card processing agents. Every single Tesla is basically a miniature data center. So if you look at the Tesla network, that's why they're all going to go together. And y'all will come back. I just watched a video that I shot 16 years ago. Just watched it just a minute ago, and I was watching, and I was like, and the headline was how to make $1 million in a day. I had no idea when I made that video. I did it with a flip camera that I bought at Best Buy. Shot it in San Diego. It was on an old YouTube channel I had. It was the very first video. I watched the whole thing. I think the YouTube was on. It was because it's a long story, but I had to find something, and I ended up on this old YouTube channel I had. and it was, and I named the video $1 Million Day. So that would have been 2009, I guess, right? 16 years ago. It said 16 years ago, and I know I was out there in La Jolla in 2009. And in 2012, I had a 2011 and 12 and 13. 2011 and 12 for sure, I had $1 million day. When I shot that video, that was just random ass hope. Just hope. No comprehension on how that would have ever happened, but it did happen. They had many more after that. So now the question is I'm not really worried about any of that stuff. I'd rather have that passive. I had to work for that.
Yeah.
I had to work hard for that.
Yeah. Oh, I talked.
There's gonna be easier ways. Let's see what these knuckleheads are doing. So we got Court, youngest son, Cubby, youngest daughter.
I just came over to.
Got crew way up there. And Cash over there on the saw by the pond. You should have your boots on. You hear me? You should have your boots on. I said you should have your boots on. You can wear mine. They fit. They're in my car. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, you hurt your foot, you're going to be mad the rest of your life. Hey, if it does something, what? Can I get a honk? Can I get a honk? There you go. Don't run over anything. Hey, what you doing? Where you going? Anyway, I was just sitting there, and I said I got into that old YouTube channel by accident, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live. Hope y'all are having a. Where y'all from? Where y'all from? See if I can find these boots. I think they're here in the old cyber truck. I think they're in the old cyber truck. Bird. I know I brought my boots. Got a couple TVs in the back of the cyber truck. Huh. Maybe I didn't bring them. Thought I brought them. Never know when you're gonna need a good old pair of boots. Brought the gummy bears. So anyway, for all of y'all who tuned in, y'all go back. I think check out some Tesla. I wish I could post links in here. Maybe you can. I'll have to figure out how to do it. But if I were you, and guess what? Just for y'all to know, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. Let me show you one little last thing. On the Starlink, on the on the Starlink, for those of you, I wouldn't even be able to be on here if I didn't have that Starlink. The internet isn't that good. All right, I'm gonna go upstairs and see if I can find these boots. Y'all take care. Happy weekend. Happy Sunday.